Welcome to Microbiology. In this video, I'm going to talk about the course Blackboard shell and how to navigate through the course. So when you log into Blackboard, this is what you're going to see. Under the Announcements tab, you're going to see Current Announcements. So far, only one announcement is posted, and it's going to tell you how to get started with the course. Under the Syllabus tab, you're going to find the course syllabus. Now this is a general video, so this isn't your specific session or section necessarily, but every course syllabus is going to be listed in the Syllabus tab. You want to make sure to log into your Blackboard shell, click on this syllabus link, and review the syllabus. Pay close attention to the due dates that are listed in the schedule in the middle of the syllabus. The syllabus is going to explain the course structure and format, all of the assignments and how the assignments are due, how to complete them, and all that type of stuff. So it's really important that you download the syllabus and read it carefully. The textbook information is here. For this course, this is a hybrid section. So in the hybrid section, we require the microbiology textbook with the Connect access code. The Connect access code will give you access to this book online, as well as all of the virtual labs. So because this is a hybrid section, what that means is that you will be completing the majority of your coursework online. So all of the lectures are online. There are pre-recorded videos where you can pause them, rewind them, listen to them as many times as you'd like. And then even the lab reports are going to be submitted online. So the lab reports are submitted online using the program that's provided by McGraw-Hill Connect. When you come into class on lab days, whatever day of the week your lab session happens to meet, we'll be working on hands-on skills to kind of reinforce the concepts that were presented in the virtual labs. So you'll be actually using a microscope, culturing microorganisms, and manipulating microorganisms in a laboratory setting. We'll also be doing review of the lecture content. So that's kind of how this course is structured. So you complete your lecture material and kind of the click-through labs, the virtual lab experiences on your own, and then when you're in class, we just do a review and we work on those hands-on skills. So you will have to purchase McGraw-Hill textbook with the Connect access code. There's a couple different options for purchasing. You can purchase through the bookstore, or you can purchase directly through McGraw-Hill. If you purchase through the bookstore, what you're going to do is you have a couple different options for purchasing. You can purchase the hard copy of the textbook that comes with the physical access code, or you can purchase the digital version of the textbook with the physical access code. Either way, you're going to want to see a card, and it's like a scratch-off card, and then there's a code on that card. When you get that card and that scratch-off card, in order to activate your McGraw-Hill Connect account, what you're going to do is click on Learning Modules, and then you're going to go to Learning Module 1, and you're just going to click on this first lab activity. So Lab 1, the virtual lab tutorial. When you click on any of the McGraw-Hill lab activities, it will take you to the McGraw-Hill Connect site. Now, since this is your first time activating this for this course, you're going to click on this lab and it's going to take you to a registration page. That registration page has a couple different options. You can either enter the code that you bought from the bookstore, or you can purchase a code right there through McGraw-Hill. If you purchase through McGraw-Hill, it gives you immediate access. So it's going to ask you to register your information. You want to make sure that you're registering with the exact same name, email, and that type of stuff that you've used for registering for the course, so that the Blackboard shell and the Connect have the same identity. And when you register, like I said, if you purchase it through McGraw-Hill, it gives you immediate access. If you purchase it through the bookstore, you will have to wait for the physical access code to be mailed to you, or you'll have to go physically pick it up because it is a scratch-off card. There's no way to provide that digitally or give you immediate access that way. If you're really short on money and you need a little bit of an extension before you can actually purchase it, then there is temporary access that you can get as a third option. So again, you would click on this first lab, and on that registration page, you can get temporary access. The temporary access gets you started with the labs for the first 14 days, and then it requires you to purchase access if you're going to continue with the course. So that's an option if you just need a little bit more time to get some money together to purchase the course materials. In the hybrid section, you will also need some splash goggles, glasses, or eye protection. If you naturally wear glasses, then you're good to go. If you don't naturally wear glasses, you should have some type of safety glasses or goggles that you can wear during lab experiments, and that just prevents a little bit of the splash that might occur in the eyes in the event of something happened during the lab experience. Under the Instructor Information tab, you'll find some information about me, my teaching philosophy, and then a little bit about me personally and professionally. And then we'll go through the learning modules. Here you can read the directions, so it tells you to complete each module folder by the due date listed in the syllabus. Reminder, all assignments are in red and have the word graded in them so that you know exactly what is graded for each module. There are some supplemental items that have been provided, so there's some YouTube videos and some links in here that might be helpful. Nothing in this folder is required for this course or is assigned or due or anything like that, but sometimes students find this stuff in here useful, so it's there just in case you are interested in looking at it. And then we get to the PreWork module. The PreWork module should be completed before you start the first day of class. So you want to make sure you check your registration dates, or sorry, not registration date, your course dates, and make sure that you complete this before the official published date of the course in WebAdvisor. So it tells you what tasks that you should complete. So review the syllabus and textbook information and purchase the textbook and McGraw-Hill Connect access code for the virtual labs. Watch the welcome video, which this is the welcome video that's being produced right now, so you'll see it appear right under here in your actual Blackboard shell. Review the Training for Success in Online Science courses PowerPoint and take the quiz. This PowerPoint just talks about some basic guidelines for how to be successful in an online science course. For some of you, this may be the first time you're taking a science course online, so it just gives you some tips and tools to be successful in an online science course. The quiz is unlimited time, unlimited attempts, so you have as long as you need in order to get a perfect score on it. Then it tells you to review the lab safety training and complete the safety training quiz. So we will be doing in-person labs, so you have to have this safety training. But even if we were to complete this class entirely online, excuse me, this is a course competency. So lab safety is something that we have to cover in the microbiology course. So there's some training materials and then this quiz. This quiz, again, unlimited time, unlimited attempts. It does have you acknowledge the fact that you have read and reviewed the laboratory safety guidelines, and we keep that on record for 3 years just to make sure that we have all given you the training and you understand the training and have completed it. And then there's an introduction to bacteria video. If we go back to the learning modules, each module is structured in an identical way. So we have 7 learning modules, module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the last module is the final exam. In learning module 1, you'll see this patient scenario and then some directions. There are lecture assignments, lab assignments, and tests. For the lecture assignments, what you're supposed to do is download this study guide. A lot of students like to print it out and have it next to them while they're going through the course content. So download the study guide. That's definitely where you want to start. And then you want to fill out that study guide. That's your goal. So you can fill out the study guide using a couple different resources that are provided to you. If you're more of a reading and writing learner, you might just want to read the textbook and take notes on the textbook. So if you click on that option, it tells you exactly what sections in the textbook to read. And then if you have the physical hard copy of the text, you can just turn to those chapters and you can read that, and then that's where you'll find the definitions. If you like a little bit more guidance while you're reading, this is an optional reading assignment. This is guided reading, which means that it's going to give you a paragraph of text to read, and then after that, it's going to ask you some questions about it. So it kind of tests your knowledge to make sure that you are understanding the content as you're reading it. This is optional. It's not graded. It does appear in the grade book. If you complete it, you're going to see a grade of 0 out of 0 because it's not worth any points. So whether or not you complete it is up to you. but it's there just in case you're interested. Your other option is to watch my lecture videos, and this is actually what I encourage students to do because a lot of my test questions come directly from my lecture videos. In my lectures, I give a lot of stories and a lot of examples and everything, so students tend to really like the lectures and get a little bit more out of the lectures than they do just reading the book. So with the lectures, there's broken down into part 1 and part 2. So you see module 1, part 1, and there's PowerPoint slides that are provided. With these PowerPoint slides, I created voiceover PowerPoint videos. So that's what you're going to see. And these are labeled A, B, C, and D. So that's what you would have to watch in order to get through the PowerPoint slides that are provided here. And then you see part 2. So part 2 is here, and then here are the slides. And you can see A, B, C, D, and E for part 2. And then there's a supplementary video that's provided at the end here. In your standard 14 to 15 week long course, you would get 2 weeks to complete each module. So typically, I encourage students to get through part 1 in the first week of the module, and then get through part 2 in the second week of the module. If you are in the condensed 7 to 8 week course, then you have to get through the entire module in 1 week. So it's just twice as much because you're in half the amount of time. So that means that you would have to go through all of the lecture content within 1 week. Once you have either read the book, listened to the lecture videos, or done both of those things and you've filled out that study guide, then it comes time to studying. So there are Quizlets provided for most of the modules. The only module that doesn't have a Quizlet is going to be Module 7 because Module 7 goes into infectious diseases, and that's a little bit more involved than just simple memorization. So you can't just simply define an infectious disease. You have to talk about the pathogen that causes it, the symptoms, transmission, all that type of stuff. So Module 7 does not have a Quizlet. If you're not familiar with Quizlet, Quizlet is virtual flashcards. So there's a term on one side, a definition on the other. In order to access these, you're just going to click on the link and it'll take you to Quizlet, and then you're going to click through those flashcards. If you don't have a Quizlet account, you'll have to create a Quizlet account, and that is a free account. So you can create it completely free, and then you'll have access to reviewing those flashcards. With Quizlet, there's also options for it to generate quiz questions for you, and you can have like competitions with classmates, and there's all sorts of crazy stuff you can do in Quizlet. So it's a really good tool. The good thing about me providing these to you is you know that the correct definition is there. So you're studying the correct definitions while you're going into the test. A lot of students feel like they don't have to memorize anything in an online course, and that's not the case. So in an online course, I know you are at home typically and you have all of your notes in front of you, but when it comes down to taking the tests, all of the tests are timed. So if you don't have this knowledge and you haven't studied the material, the timer is going to run out on that clock. You don't have unlimited time to sit there and review your notes and look up information and all that type of stuff. Additionally, when it comes time to take the final exam, that is cumulative. So if you haven't really studied and worked hard to try to learn all of the content throughout the entire course, you're going to have a really hard time taking that final exam. Another point is, your programs are expecting that you learned something from this course. So you really have to spend the time learning the content now so that when you get into your program courses or if you transfer to another institution, you have that foundational knowledge that people are expecting you to have when you get into those other courses. So it's really important that you actually spend the time learning this stuff. Don't cheat yourself now so that you can be successful in the future. For the lab assignments come with lab technique videos. So since you're in a hybrid class, we will actually be performing these in lab. So that's where these lab technique videos are going to come in handy. You can actually watch me or sometimes their YouTube videos do these experiments, and you can see how they're going to run before you even get to class. That way when you're in lab, you can be a little bit more efficient when you're walking through the steps because you already have some background knowledge on how they work. So lab technique videos will give you some extra tips for being successful in the lab. And then you see the McGraw-Hill Labs. So when you click on these links, it's going to take you to McGraw-Hill Connect, and you'll be completing virtual labs. The virtual labs, basically you click through and you answer questions as you're clicking through. You're going to see a real lab bench in front of you, and you're going to be manipulating real laboratory equipment. And as you click through, you're going to be asked questions, and it's going to stop you if you make mistakes, and you're going to have to troubleshoot the experiment before you can go forward in the experiment. So you can see there's 6 labs due for Module 1, and all of those labs take between about 20 minutes up to an hour. Students really have given a lot of strong positive feedback about the labs. They really like the structure, they think they're fun, and they're able to click through them pretty quick and learn a lot from them. So I've had a lot of positive feedback about these virtual labs. And then we get to the module tests. So there's a lecture test and a lab test for most of the modules. The lecture test is going to cover the stuff on the study guide. So the Module 1 study guide is what's going to be on that lecture test. The lab test is going to cover key concepts from the labs that you performed. Watching these lab technique videos is also going to help you be successful on this lab test. For all of the tests, you can see that it lists how many questions, how many points each test is worth, how long you have to take it, how many attempts, and for all of them, if you get multiple attempts, your best attempt will count. So you can review, the exact amount of time that you're going to need to devote to these tests. Because you get 2 attempts, what I recommend is go through and take it the first attempt and try to do your best getting through the first attempt. When you click submit, it's going to show you the questions, and it's going to indicate whether you got them right or wrong by showing you the number of points that you earned for each question. At that point, you should be reading those questions and reviewing the course content. A lot of students make the mistake of just clicking through it twice back to back without studying in between the attempts. And that's really not the purpose of giving you 2 attempts. The 2 attempts is intended for you to try it out and then go relearn the course content and go through the course content again to try to learn it a little bit better, and then take your second attempt so that hopefully your second attempt can be much better than your first attempt. So really take the time to study in between the attempts. Don't try to take them back to back right away, because chances are you're not going to do much better the second time if you're not studying in between the attempts. Something else that I wanted to mention about the labs, if we go back to the learning modules, in some of these learning modules, there are some Word document labs. So if we go to Module 2, you're going to see it structured in the exact same way as Module 1. There's patient scenario directions, you got your study guide, your lecture content, and then you get to the lab assignments and you see this. So with this one, you would click on this blue link and a Word document is going to pop up. You read through the directions on the Word document. Typically it's going to take you to another website or have you look at something a little bit differently. And then you're going to type your answers directly onto that Word document. When you're done typing in all of your answers, you save the completed document to your computer, and then you're going to click on the red link to submit it. And when you click on this red link, you're going to browse local files on your computer and you're going to upload the completed document, and then you can press submit. The reason why we have some labs completed with Word documents and then some labs that are completed through McGraw-Hill is because the labs in the Word documents were not covered on McGraw-Hill. So as of now, we don't have those available. So I have the Word documents so that we're still covering all of the course competencies, and we're reinforcing those concepts that we need to in the labs. So continuing on here, the learning modules, like I said, are structured in an identical way, and then you get to learning module 8, where it's just the final exams. So there's a final lecture exam and a final lab practical exam that you will have to complete. These are cumulative, and you want to make sure that you get them done before the deadline, which is the last day of the course, and that you can find in your course syllabus. Over here you see email. Email is the best way to contact me. And when you email through Blackboard, it's even better because it comes with your section number. I typically teach a lot of different sections in a lot of different formats, so if you email me through the Blackboard function, it will send your section number so I know exactly what section you're in and exactly what you're talking about right away, so I don't have to take time to look up what section you're in and try to figure out the issue. I can answer your questions a lot faster if you just email through this Blackboard function. The Blackboard function gives you options to email other students in your class as well. So if you have a question and you don't really want to ask me, or if you feel like you want to ask your classmates or want to form study groups or anything like that, you can always just use this email function and email other people in the class. So you can email everyone, which includes me. You can email just the student users. You can email all instructor users, which would just be me. And then single and select users. If you know someone in your class that you want to just get in touch with them, you can email single or select users. So lots of different options to email through Blackboard. Virtual meeting room is where you're going to meet with me virtually. Because this is a hybrid section, we will be meeting in person for labs, but if you ever need to meet with me outside of those meeting times, then we can meet virtually by Zoom. My office hours will always be listed, so this is going to be different depending on what section that you're enrolled in, but they'll be listed right here under the Zoom link, and then you just click on that Zoom link to join the meeting. If you ever need to meet with me outside of my office hours, you can always email me and let me know that you need to meet with me, and we can schedule an appointment to meet. Discussion board is optional. There is an open forum for you guys to post questions, but I will not be looking at the discussion board ever. So it's up there if you want to post questions for each other and answer each other's questions, but that's completely optional. There's never going to be anything graded in the discussion board. The My Grades tab gives you your current grade in the course at any given time. I typically do all of my grading on Mondays because assignments are usually due on Sundays of each week. So Sunday everything's due, so then Monday I'll spend my day grading and updating the grade book. So at any given time in the course, your grade is pretty current and accurate, except for Mondays. Mondays I'm usually updating grades. Student resources. So under the student resources, you're going to see an explanation of the weighted total grade, and then a whole bunch of how-to guides for navigating things through Blackboard, how to access virtual tutoring, how to join Zoom on a computer or smart device, how to email through Blackboard, how to submit an assignment in Blackboard, how to post to a discussion forum. So all that is there for your information. And then there's some links to different sites on Gateway's website. So student services, campus resources. You can download free Microsoft Office, the entire suite for free if you're a Gateway student. So there's the link for you to be able to download that. There's Blackboard support, Maxient reporting, campus life counseling, campus security. Student accident insurance is health insurance that protects you from certain accidents that may happen on campus. If you don't have health insurance already, then you can pursue this option, and it is free of charge to the student. And that's just for accidents that would occur on campus. And you can enroll in that and get more information by clicking that link. And then there's this diversity and inclusion tab. Diversity and inclusion provides resources for increasing diversity and inclusion in the sciences. You can read through those resources and join some of these organizations if you're interested in taking a part in those organizations.